Sorry, Jack and Honey Lily, but I wasn't able to record the first bit, but here we go. So we look. First thing we do, we read the question and we see not only is it compounded, but because it's not compounded annually, it's compounded half yearly, we write down future value equals present value 1 plus I over K, Kn. Now, Bahija and Jack and Honey Lily and, missing anybody? Jaska, if you're still with us. No, doing test. You might go, what? What is this? This is the new formula that we've got when we are compounding, not annually. We're compounding at different rates. So we're wanting to find the future value. So again, when you're doing this, I know it might sound irritating, but can you write out your info to the side? And you'll see as soon as we get to our graphic calculators why I ask you to do that, because they want you to. So here we go. Future value, we don't know. What is my present value? PV, 3,000. What is my I on K? So your interest, 6%, but we remember we have to change that to 0.06. And we ask ourselves, how many times is it being compounded? Now, I heard someone say 4, but read the question. It's compounded half yearly. Yes, 2 times. Half yearly, so twice a year. So we're dividing that by 2. Coming? No. We are not going to go to our calculator and even bother working that out. We're just going to use our calculator once. Where does the 4 come into it? The 4 is your N, right? So what is my power here? The Kn, that's going to be 2 times 4. Bonjour, monsieur, yes? And now we just plonk that into our formula. So it becomes 3,000 times 1 plus 0.06 over 2. Now you can write 2 times 4, or you could put 8, right? I'm putting 8. If that was, 2.5 years daily, I'm not going to bother working it out. I'm just going to make my calculator do it. So to the calculators. The calculators from the library, and if you're about to go and get one from the library as well, could you please listen? When you press your fraction button, sometimes if it's from the library, it won't actually have the top and the bottom. It will look like, right, you'll get this little L-shaped thing. Okay, so it's easy to fix. All you need to do is you go into the setup. So we go Shift, Menu, and right at the top here, you want to make sure that you've got maths. Okay, maths mode. If I turn mine to linear, right, when I press exit and I press my fraction button, you see I get the same hook, right? So I'll show you again. We go Shift, Menu, and you want to make sure that's in math. Okay, when it's in math, that will make sure that you've got the fraction top and bottom. And then we press exit. Is that okay? Right, so now we just type in what we see. So it's going to be 3,000 times bracket 1 plus. And I can use my fraction button again if I wanted to. So 0.06 over 2. And your to the button, it's your little hook. And you can either say 2 times 4 or just write 8. So we get 3,800. If it had been compounded annually, because it's only for 4 years, you're not going to see that big a difference. So 1.06, so 1 plus 0.06, and it would be just to the 4. Yeah? A little bit less. Okay? So when it's compounded more often, you're earning interest on interest more often, and so you should earn more money. Make sense? The longer you leave it in for, the better it becomes. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Together? You want to do it by yourself. So if you want to, you carry on. I'm just going to do it with. Thanks, Cience. All right. So let's have a go at B. Again, if you think you've got this and you can carry on your merry way, go for it. Were we doing all of them? I can't remember. Ooh. Ooh. Making it worse. Is that right? Okay, here we go. Once again, we see compounded, right? And quarterly, so that means K is 4. So we're writing our formula. What's our present value? 1,500. Because I didn't want to disturb you. What's my I? Not just 7. Excellent. 0.07. And because it's compounded quarterly, what am I dividing by? Yes. 4. Happy days. Your power here. I've got the power. KN. It's saying, as Luke was saying, how many times are you compounding per year? I'll check that this is down. Make sure it's down. How many times are we compounding per year? It's 4 times a year for 5 years. Yep. So it's 4 times 5, which is 20. And now we pop that in. And into the calculator we go. Go out of our run mode. We're going to go to our menu. So everybody press menu, main menu. And on mine, you can see mine is called financial. I think for some of the slightly older calculators, it might be called TVN. So we want to go into that. So I use my arrow keys. Yep. So we go into that, we press enter, and we should have simple interest, compound interest, cash flow. Has anyone not got that on their screen? Excellent. Okay? Excellent. Now, I would say to use the simple interest on here is probably more complicated than actually doing it normally. So I've rarely used the simple interest, but compound is good. So we want to go into compound. How do we get it? Excellent. We're reading and it says press F2, so we press F2. And we get a whole lot of stuff there. So we're going to type over it. We don't actually need to clear it. But you could, if you really wanted to, go 0, enter, 0, enter, and so on. But you're better off, we're just going to type over it. Okay? So here we go. For N, for our question here, $1,500 invested quarterly for 5 years. We're going to see if our calculator can do it for us. What is our N? 5. So we say 5, but we're timesing it by 4. And this is where we have to pay attention now. This is where your calculators are good in one aspect and a little bit confusing in the other. Where we did it by hand and you had to do all of this dividing palaver, we don't have to bother. You just have to put in your interest just 7. That's it. The percent will automatically divide it by 100 for you. Then you'd put 7.3. Right? So we just put our percentage there. So can we just do this and then it'll answer your questions, okay? I love the keenness. Well done. Now, your PV. This is the bit also that you have to pay attention to, and to answer any questions that are about to come, it's just the way the calculator works it out. You have to press negative, right? Down here, not the subtract button, but the one in brackets, negative 1,500. Why are we doing that? It's just the way it works. Remember it. The negative is in brackets, left of the EXE. The PMT, now we will be using that with our car loan that we're going to look at a little bit later on, or when we're saving regularly. So do you know what do you think PMT stands for? Not the other, but regular payments. Okay, so we're not doing that in this case. We've just got a lump sum, so we're going to put a 0 there. Izzy, can you please follow along? No, you were just typing. Follow along. Right, future value, that is what we're trying to find. So if it's got a number there, you can put 0 if you want. You don't even have to. We'll just type over it in a moment. Okay, PY. This is your payments per year. And when we change it, if you use the arrow down, it actually turns out to be the same as the compounding per year. So what's our compounding per year? So we will pop that there as 4. So you just put it in the PY. And you'll see it changes the compounding automatically, okay? And because we're not actually making payments, that one doesn't matter. So we want to find FV. What do you think we're going to press? Look at the bottom. F5. Oops. Oh, that didn't work. So hello, sorry for the people playing at home. We're now doing number 1, and that worked, the last one. So now, it wasn't 6 times 4. We're doing half yearly for 4 years. So it's going to be 4 times 2. And notice, I don't have to work out what 4 times 2 is. You just pop it in and it does it for you automatically. And you might be going, but we know what 4 times 2 is. Well, again, think about when it is compounded daily and you want to do 7 years at 365. You just type it in. It'll do it for you. Right, what's our interest? 6. So we pop 6 here. How much are we investing? 3,000. Negative 3,000. Nearly forgot that. Thank you. PMT is still 0. I'm not even going to write over the future value. Can't be stuffed. How many times am I compounding? 2. So we pop 2 there. It will change the compounding automatically. And now I press future value and lo and behold, I got the same answer. Right? So you are going to be asked to use the formula to solve these questions, right? On a couple of occasions. But we are now going to use our calculator to do stuff because I might be asking you, well, I want to earn this much money. This is much I'm investing. This is the interest rate. How long will I have to invest it for? So you'd put all your information in, but then you can just press F1 to find N. You could have all your other information and I might ask you, what interest rate would you need? Is that realistic? Boom. If you had to do it algebraically, you'd have to use things like logarithms and big time algebra. We don't have to do that. So, all right. So, when we do this, thank you guys. Luke. It's great using the calculator, but I'm not going to see what you've put in your calculator. And what happens quite often is sometimes you mean to put the right thing in, but you accidentally put the wrong thing. So that's why for every question, we're going to need you to write this stuff out. N, I, PV, PMT, PY, and CY, right? So for the next exercise that we are about to do, I suggest that you do this. 1, 2, 3. So on your page, this is just a suggestion. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. You can just write it down every single time. But I would suggest that you make a table and you go, this is question 1, this is question 2, we've got question 3, and down the side we have N, We have I, we have PV, we have PMT, we have FV, and for you guys, the PY and the CY is always going to be the same. All right? It can change later on, but not for us. And then you don't have to write this every single time. Is that okay? In a test, all of these have to be written. So they do. Do they? They do. So let's have a go at question 1. Check C3, question 2. We just did that, correct? We did. Well, let's have a go at number 2. So I will pop that so I don't have to keep looking at it. You've got exercise C4, yep, written at the top, please. Bottom, but you should be able to have a look. Actually, I'll bring it up. Okay, we've done number 1. I deposit $6,000 in a bank that pays 5% compounded monthly. How much will I have in my account after 2 years? All right, here we go. Where are we going to stick that $6,000? And we have to remember that it is negative. Well done. Pardon? PY, so payments per year, and compounding per year. And what we said was, for us, they're always going to be the same. Okay? That's a dash. I mean, I say this, and then people are asking me over and over. That's fine. Okay, done. In a bank account that pays 5%. So remember, no working here. You just stick the 5 there. Easy. Dealt with. All right, here comes the compounding monthly. What does, oh, thank you so much. What does the monthly do? 2 things. It's going to be down here with the PYCY. Yeah? Where else does it rear its head? With the N. So it's going to be 12 times what? D. Why 2? Because it is for 2 years. Does that make sense? Do you need me to colour code it at all? I will colour code for you. So 2 years times 2. Right? What do we have to do with the PMT? Nothing. Right? Your future value, I'm just putting 0 there. You don't have to physically change it. But we then, it says, find how much you have to pay. So you will then press your future value button, which will be F5, and you will put your answer here. That's it. Done, I reckon, in like 15 seconds. The hardest bit is writing N, I, PV, PMT. Okay? They're going to mix it up, as we said. There will be questions where you have to find how much do you invest originally, and so on. I have faith that you could do this. Yes? Go forth, you good things.